Hello, everyone. It's Renee the Practical Shaman, and I'm here with Jorge Luis Delgado. So for those of you who've never met Jorge Luis Delgado, him and we've done a couple of trips through Peru together, and 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, I'm not sure how long ago, I said I wasn't going back to Peru for a while because I felt Americans were, I don't want to say cultural appropriation because the people in Peru have always had a very big heart and they never looked at it that way. But I felt we were trampling all over their traditions. And I didn't want to be one of those people because and I don't know if you know this, Jorge, but I went to the witches market, is what we call it in Cusco, and it's a market where a lot of different things are sold, including despachos. And I noticed there that all the watches that the Pacos, the guys were getting from the tourists were all at the market. And it really concerned me that we had created this barter economy that was, I don't know, it just bothered me. I didn't want to see the heart of the people go out just to be bartering with us Americans and other countries. So I thought that I was going to step out and not be part of the problem for a while. And then all of a sudden this year, I did this all in my earlier one, that when I redid the Oracle and got 64 cards, 32 more cards, three of them I had Wairama in the deck, but three of them came out as South American cards that, when I was doing the original research for Winds of Spirit, were not available. One of them is Wairatata, and one of them is Haya, and the other one was the South Trade Winds Tuana. And none of these winds showed up when I was researching 10 years ago. And so I didn't think it was any small wonder that Peru was starting to call me back because the winds started to speak. And especially this wind, Tuana, which is an equator wind and it's the guardian of the underworld. And this serpent comes up when the world is in the Pachacuti, when the world is turning over, when the world is writing itself from the inside out. And maybe that's what it's about. And then my friend said, "Oh, you should go to Lake Titicaca." And when you sent me the itinerary, it had Lake Titicaca on it. So here we are. Here's Jorge Luis Delgado. He's been in the hospitality business for years in Peru, and he's a Paco of the highest order, and he has a lot of heart. And now look at this medallion around him, which I'm going to ask him about. He carries the sun plate.
That's right.
So
It's a
tell
symbol of the children of the sun. It is a reminder that we come from the heart, from the inner sun.
And that was the part of how we were trampling all over the landscape that I didn't ever want to see lost. And maybe it didn't get lost. Maybe it was that I had to come back to my own heart and find my own way back to it. So many times we take and take. We don't give back to a culture. And I wanted to make sure that when I did come back, that I did it with the right heart and the right intention and brought the right group of people who are going to walk in integrity with you.
The invitation from the masters Apucunas and the different mothers and in different places are always waiting the right people in the right moment. And when we choose to listen and to feel that is the moment, then the synchronicity with divine happens. Wilka, it's becoming Wilka Kuti, the return to the sacredness, the return to divine, the return to the light, the return to the sun. It is part of what we call the Pachacuti. And it's very important to remember that this Pachacuti is different than the last Pachacuti. Every 500 years, we have huge changes. And the most important is to be aware what kind of Pachacuti we have. The last Pachacuti 500 years ago was a night Pachacuti. So when we've been entering into the night, it was the sunset when the Spaniards arrived. 500 years later, now from 1992 to 2032, we start to experience the new sun. This is the sunrise, the most beautiful sunrise. Of course, we start to be a little bit worried with what we see, what we are experiencing. But it's the reality. How is the state of consciousness of the humanity? But what is important is that we see that sooner or later everybody is going to awake. So it is important when we are awakening, what what is that we are remembering? Most of the time we remember our attachment to the night. See? We flow into the beliefs of the night. They believe in the things, they believe in the power for the power, they believe in the information, the knowledge, all that based in fear. But the belief of the day is different. This Wilkakuti, this is the Pachakuti, the era of transformation, the return to the essence of the cosmos is guided by Wilkakuti. What is Wilka? Wilka is the light, Wilka is the sun, Wilka is divine, Wilka is sacred. So Wilka Kuti is the return to the inner sun, the return to the inner light, the return to the inner divine, the return to sacredness of life. That is what is missing. So when we understand all life is sacred, we respect all expressions of life, not only humans, but every single children or daughter from the Mother Earth is sacred, is important. Everybody brings a contribution to manifest this extraordinary world where we are today.
Yeah, that's so true because there's so much division right now in the world, and I don't see it that way. I see it more like a branch falls from the tree and dies, and in the death of that, it it becomes usable parts, usable to the oxygen, usable to the earth, usable to the seeds that it transports. And we may not be in alignment with all the various different parts, but they are all integral, like what you're saying. And something I've been noticing lately is that some of the dark that's being splintered up right now is some of the that masculine energy where it was okay to abuse women and all of that, right? Because that this Jeffrey Epstein thing isn't going away. And it's not about Jeffrey Epstein, it's about years and years of an attitude that is being splintered. And what I'm seeing is that it's not whether you're coming from one perspective or another perspective, but everyone wants it's bubbling. It's that snake I just showed you. It's bubbling up from all the sides and meeting somewhere in the middle, and everyone's saying, this is not going to be how we're going to walk forward. And it's not a left or right thing. It's about these times we don't want these times anymore. Do you agree with that?
The mind can create amazing histories. And what we know is that this is the time when we start to go to the roots, and all these heavy energies, it's really like a pressure to really open those seeds to germinate. And as much we feel that pressure, we start to search of the light and we can bloom. So there are different perspectives. In reality, in our world, we can see the state of consciousness of the humanity. We can see in the politics. We can see in the parliaments what is going on in everywhere in the world. And we can see by one hand there is much fear, but by other hand there is much opening, a lot of people awakening. It is amazing time to experience life because we are between the night and the daytime.
I love that. I think that is so fitting about the same way the relationships you have with your mountains and that you have that these are no different. These energies are energies. Is that what you're essentially saying? That this is the energy and like sometimes that pressure is
Yeah,
what pushes the roots down in the flower to grow.
yeah, yeah. It is by some mysterious reason of the cosmos we had to experience what we are experiencing, but always is guiding us to see the medicine. What is the medicine? The medicine is an extraordinary way of life. So every weakness, every issue, every situation we experience, it is really to grow, to expand consciousness. And the medicine as an extraordinary is really that light. Because if we see that light in the Inca tradition, light is power. Power is light, and that light is love. That light is in service, that light is white. So the medicine to apply today is our love, our wisdom that is in service to light. So we apply our own light in an ordinary world, then we have an extraordinary world. It's not necessarily only about the bright mind. It is about the brightness of the soul. It's the brightness of the heart, what is needed so much.
I love that. And perhaps that's what's calling me back right now is that I feel like that was one of the greatest openings I had back in the early 2000s was that I saw a heart there. There was a heart I had been studying up here in the north where it was the heart wasn't the same. Let's just put it that way, okay? And let's talk about the heart and like what people who are coming with us are going to experience because it's hard to put into words that there's the heart of the people that just permeates the landscape and maybe it is the landscape but that really welcomes you when you come to Peru.
Yes, it is about the heart of the cosmos, the heart of the Mother Earth, the heart of the Apupuna.
That's it. And you have a special attraction to Lake Titicaca. So tell us about how, if I think about where that you've gone to the Sun Gate and all of those places, you seem to resonate back there these days. Is that true or?
The center for us, like the torus of the Mother Earth, what is connected with the heart is the sacred Titicaca.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why we go there. The Inca, the leader in these pre-colonial times, used to say, I go to the sacred Titicaca in order to have the big picture, in order to have the discernment with the heart, not only with my heart, but with the heart of the Mother Earth. So it was the way to explain that as we do a pilgrimage to the sacred Titicaca, remember one of the old names of Titicaca was Marca, which means the eternal city, where we go to expand the eternal self. And that is the connection with the cosmic vitality and the vitality of the Mother Earth. That is the torus that we have in our body expanding. So this is the connection. But it's important to see and to activate the inner sun to start that process. So we can use the qualities of that light for the expansion of consciousness. What kind of qualities we are talking? The qualities that the Father Son teaches every day, like transparency, luminosity, fulgurancy, enthusiasm for life, warmth, brightness, and to illuminate. So all those qualities are from the Father Son, but also for the children of the Son. That's why in the Aymara region we call Lupapa, Lupi, the Son, Hake, the people of the Son, of the children of the Son. In Inca, the Inca in Quechua translation, in comes from Inti, Hana, a ray of the sun that arrived to this world, the Caipacha. But as we are children of the Mother Earth, we come like a filament of light from the heart of the Mother Earth all the way to this world where we become like a prism, like a quartz crystal. And this ray, it touches. When it touches, we let flow the luminosity of that light. So that is the state of consciousness of the Inca, the children of the sun, the state of consciousness of the culture of light. Most of the time, people, the Spaniards, thought that the Incas, they had a religion. In reality, we never had a religion. It was different expression, different nations, very powerful, very high consciousness in this spirituality that it brings us to understand we are in service to light. As we are in service to light, in service to life, we bring all those gifts of love, service, and wisdom to deliver from the mother and from the father. In this new cycle, everybody, we start to remember that we are this amazing gift. We understand, we connect with the lineage of the Kapakuna. Kapak, Machu Kapak. It was the name of the first Inca, the one who started the lineage of the Kapakuna, the ones of power, the ones of the light, the ones that we are aware. This is the day. This is the moment. This is the day that we had been waiting for.
That's great. So let's go to the mundane of the trip. So we meet and then we go as a group to Machu Picchu. And I noticed in there you put a sunrise ceremony in Machu Picchu. What does that look like?
We have different kind of ceremonies, but the most important, the first ceremony, we start by surrendering to the light. The most important practice we have in the Children of the Sun tradition is to greet ourselves. How we greet ourselves, how you greet yourself. Normally, we have that tendency to greet to everybody, but we don't greet ourselves. Okay? Sometimes we ignore ourselves. Sometimes we experience our life in automatic. But having a conscious life, it is about the practice to remember first who we are. Because remember, when we awake, what do you remember? You remember most of the time what you have to do. Okay? But in reality, we become a agenda. But if we remember what we are, that light connecting with the inner sun, whatever we have to do in life becomes extraordinary. We change the perception that we have about life, the perception we have about ourselves. We start to remember that the most wisest expression we can bring to the world, it is already in our heart. We are wise people. It is our choice to start the day from love, not from fear. But of course, when we are stuck on fear, that means that we have an invitation to release. We have an invitation to have an extraordinary life. Again, what is the extraordinary? It is the light we apply in the ordinary life. And it always works. So when we surrender to the inner sun, connecting with the Father Sun, Inti Taita, and the Inti Taita connecting with Inti, the great Hatun Inti, the great central sun with the Father Sun and the Inti Churin, the children of the sun, we make stronger that ray of light that never break, never disappear, never die. The eternal ray of light that is directly connected from the heart of the eternal divine mother, that is Pachamama. So we understand clearly that the beloved Pachamama is not only the Mother Earth, she is also the Mother Earth, but we feel, we connect that she's the mother of the star, the mother of the time, the mother of the space, the mother of the absolute. So that expression, it is in our hearts. That's why that light, it was considered the most important light and the oldest prayer that it was recorded in 1872, more or less. It starts, the prayer starts saying, O Iyatiksi Wirakocha, which means, O primordial light that creates everything. So the first light experience in Machu Picchu is one of the most powerful experiences, even if it's cloudy, but is that frequency. We believe that's the same frequency of the soul. So as we release the heavy energies, most of the time when we get Machu Picchu, we already done the releasing the heavy energies, the energies that doesn't come from love. It's so important to release because it become blockages, it become toxic in the physical body, mental body, emotional body.
Oops. He froze there. Jorge, you there? Looks like you froze.
In Machu Picchu as a high voltage place, it became one of the most powerful experiences. And after that, we can continue dreaming in the city, cleansing, releasing, anchoring, planting seeds of a new life.
So that sounds important, that when you go, it's not just it's a pilgrimage, it's a trip, it's where you will go and have an experience that will alter you forever, is my guess.
It is multidimensional. The mind can have one thing, you see. Some people says, I would like to see with my physical eye this extraordinary city. The soul perspective is a little bit different. This high voltage, it is food for the soul. How we expand, how we move the roots of the heavy energies that sometimes already in the body. It is using that light. So that's why we call power place. How we use the power places. We use to move heavy energies. We use to expand. We use for blooming. We use for releasing the resistance, to move the blockages. And very important, to be grateful for our existence, grateful for our life. So it is a place where we can manifest that synchronicity. It's like you are talking directly face to face with God, if we want to use that word. Because in the Inca tradition, we don't have translation for the word God, but we have many other names, many other aspects that describe what is divine, what is sacred, what is light, what is pure. But not only to find outside there, it's really to connect inside with that part of us that is not domesticated. That is the teaching of the Apu Antai, the wild one, the one who says, You are unique. You are pure. You are free. You are not domesticated in your real.
And I've hiked that. We won't be doing that this time, but you'll definitely see these apus. That's a whole that's a whole other trek. Although since I hiked it, now they have lodges along the way.
Yeah,
This trip will be staying at some nice places, right? There's nice hotels and the food is delicious and the people are sincere. What else would they need to know? And oh, it's the end of October, so you're coming into summer there or spring?
it is. It starts a little bit the rain, so it starts to grow more green, and it's a beautiful time of the year.
Yeah, I've
It's
been in
different,
October. It is
like
beautiful.
in the north. Yeah, it is. It is warm. It's not cold. So everybody likes so much. They love October because by November the rainy season starts, but it's not that much. It's just a little touch. After the spring, September, we start a beautiful moment. September, October, the plants are already growing and some are already blooming.
I can't wait. Is there anything else, one last thing that you can encourage people to join us for this journey?
This is not just an ordinary trip. I know every trip is extraordinary, but if you are awake, if you are aware, in this case, we make unique because every day we have different spiritual practices. Between the solar practice, contemplation, meditation, and dancing, some of the melodies connecting with the master Papukunas, the encounter with some of the Quero elders. We have also opportunities. Some of the days they come with us and they offer, if somebody wants to have individual sessions, some healing session with the Quero elders. Also, we have the opportunity to do much releasing. It is so important for us to let it go. It's so important for us even to let go those energies that we don't know from where it comes from. We don't remember from where it comes from. Sometimes it's past lives, sometimes the lineage. Our ancestors also had some difficulties, but at this new cycle, at this new day, is so important to let it go. And we have the support of the sacred Titicaca. So we take off the shoes and we go into the waters of the lake and we give permission to the Mama Cocha, to the soul, the spirit of the lake to pull out those heavy energies that we don't remember from where it comes from. So we'll have opportunity to do many of those releasings and also to experience what is our gift, our talent. That's a very important aspect to experience the luminosity, our contribution to the world. We know clearly that the most important contribution we bring to the world is to love ourselves. But sometimes we don't give ourselves the opportunity to reaffirm, to make really a new agreement with ourselves, how to experience life. How is our relationship with ourselves? So the opportunities are so many. It is the mystery, the way how the apucunas, the mothers, the newstas, they show up in our life. And this is unique because we don't just go as a tourist. We are in a permanent retreat. We are in a permanent awareness. We are dealing with our physical body, mental body, emotional body, together with the spirit.
I love that. I was this morning, I was cleaning out some boxes and I saw my first trip to Peru, which I don't know if you can see it or not, but was
Yeah.
back in 2000 and I think it was 2002. And it's me and Don Manuel Quispe. And Peru has been on my heart for a long time, and I've done a lot of work in Peru, and I'm looking forward to coming back. And I really hope you consider joining me. I'm bringing the wind. Watch out,
Uh,
Peru, the wind is coming. And I love to work with Jorge Luis Delgado because he's so of the heart and pure. And that our combination is a really nice blend. And you know me, I'm a foodie, so I'm sure we'll find some good food. And he is a hotelier, or his daughter is. So I'm sure we'll get to stay at some nice hotels. And it's going to be a wonderful trip. So I hope you join us.
yes, please. It is unique. It's not one of these many pilgrimages. It will be really unique. Always, because the cosmos brings us together. Beautiful people. We have beautiful, harmonious conversations, very opening to a new life.
Absolutely. I'm making a special offer if you commit this month by the third week of March. I'm giving you a discount of about $250. So reach out to me over at thepracticalshaman.com and we'll go from there.
Fantastico. Most of the people, when they come with us, they say, my life before Peru, my life after Peru.
Oh, I love that. My life before Peru, my life after Peru. It's been so many years. It's all been my life after Peru that I've been awake and writing books and doing all the other things I do. So I'm sure it will be impactful for you, and we look forward to having you join us. So thank you.
Thank you very much.